Work, kid. Work, been way up for a minute now. Hold up, it's been a minute. Wow, I've been way up. I can feel it now. Tell my family I'ma get it.
All right, people, you guys are watching and or listening to another Nomadic Cole video for your guys' entertainment. Be sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment, share, and of course, subscribe for more. Because this shit is for your entertainment. That's right, people. This shit is for your entertainment. So again, be sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment, share, and subscribe. Guys, I've got some updates so far on the Dallas Cowboys. Surprisingly, Jerry Jones actually making some interesting moves in the offseason. I'm not going to go and overreact as many Dallas Cowboys fans will to some of this news and say, oh, the Dallas Cowboys, we're going to a Super Bowl. If we're lucky, and if everyone stays healthy and we do really, really good, then maybe we can make it back to the playoffs again and lose in the first round, probably, most likely. But Dallas Cowboys seem to be switching it up. Jerry Jones, he's still an old, decrepit old man with weird googly eyes and looks kind of like a lizard person, but I mean, he is actually not waiting until the very last minute to make some signings, and he's making a couple of interesting, half-decent signings that interest Dallas Cowboys fans. But first, we're going to talk about some of the people who have been let go so far. We'll also talk about someone entering free agency, and then after that, we will talk about who has been brought in, and then we'll wrap it up and see what we think about it. So first, let's talk about people who have been let go. So, sadly, Zach Martin, that's right, the multi-time Pro Bowl left guard for the Dallas Cowboys, that mammoth of a dude, man. That guy who has more Pro Bowl appearances than he has flags. That is an absolutely insane stat for those of you who don't know. The guy who, he didn't even allow more than a sack in over 1,000 snaps of football, which is really impressive. He has reached the end of his career. He's decided to just focus on his family and take care of his health. And he said the best thing for his career is to leave the Dallas Cowboys. We knew this was all coming. If not this year, this last year, then it would have happened likely this next season. Zach Martin got injured this year, back injury, and decided to hang up the cleats. So no more Zach Martin this year. Another big hit is we are losing defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence. At first, I thought he was retiring, but I actually was corrected. And it turns out he is going to the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks now, they seem to be a team that's taking a lot of our old players, and it seems like they're trying to do some sort of rebuild. They just lost Tyler Lockett, but replaced him with Cooper Kupp, and now they're bringing in DeMarcus Lawrence. Last year, they took, I believe it was Neville Gallimore, over to their team, and, Neville Gallimore's a defensive tackle. So twice now, the Seahawks have been an option for former Dallas Cowboys defensive line players to go to. Last time it was just Neville Gallimore. You're like, maybe not so bad. He's replaceable. But this time now it's DeMarcus Lawrence. And that guy was a big-time game changer, good at the run stop, and earlier in his career got a lot of sacks as well. At this time in his career, he's been injury prone because he too is aging as well. And finally, we also lost, sadly, one of my favorite players, backup quarterback Cooper Rush. Backup quarterback Cooper Rush, man, he has had a good couple of seasons with us. In 2022, he had a really strong few game run where he won 4 games, lost 1. He beat 2 former Super Bowl champions. He beat 2 guys in our division and had a close game against the Eagles. He played throughout the season this year, and he did decent. He actually got an upset victory against the Buccaneers. He looked pretty solid against the Commanders and the Giants and the Panthers. Had a close game against the Bengals, but they ended up losing that. And, he lost a couple of games as well. But, he didn't have a bad career at Dallas. Jerry Jones, it seems like he just didn't want to pay him. Believe it or not. He kept him off the field for that last game against the Commanders, which I believe that if Cooper Rush were playing in that game instead of Trey Lance, that we would have defeated the Commanders in that final game. Not that it would have mattered much or anything anyways, but we would have probably beat the Commanders. And, it seems like Jerry Jones just didn't want to pay him. He didn't want to give him that performance bonus. And now Jerry Jones is releasing him. Now we're pretty much out of options at backup quarterback. There's Will Grier on the practice squad, I believe, still. He showed some flashes in preseason games with just raw arm talent. But, it takes a little bit more than that to be a great quarterback. So we'll see what will happen. Trey Lance, I don't think, is going to cut it at backup quarterback. And free agency, we have Brandon Cooks going into free agency, our wide receiver 2. Maybe we'll resign him to another cheapo deal later on. Maybe not. That's all up in the air. And we're also bringing in a few guys. So we have really 3 major signings and 1 really minor signing. Well, actually a couple of really minor signings, but I forget what the defensive tackle guy's name. He kind of looks like Dak Prescott, but anyways, the 3 big ones is 1, we are getting Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders, if you don't know, he had a strong season with the Eagles a couple years ago. And then he went to the Carolina Panthers and just his stats completely plummeted. It's not really due to an old age thing. He's still kind of young. It's more so due to he played for the Carolina Panthers, which absolutely suck. So maybe he'll bounce back, maybe he won't. I don't know. Then there is the Paris Cooper signing, who is an Eagles wide receiver. He was from what I saw. I don't think he's going to be our wide receiver 2. At least I hope not. If Jerry Jones is banking on him being the wide receiver 2, I don't know. That's not a good look. And then there is the Dante Fowler signing. He's shown decent flashes with the Eagles. He's played for Dallas before and whatnot. He says he's upset that the Commanders wouldn't keep him. He's coming off of a strong season with the Commanders with, I believe, 10 sacks or so, and going to the NFC Championship. Don't know why Dan Quinn won't keep him, but, we'll take him. He's going to be the replacement for DeMarcus Lawrence. Anyways, that's all I have to say. Thank you guys for watching. And of course, if you haven't already, leave a like, share, and subscribe for more. And tell us what you think of these Cowboys signings and releases down in the comments below. This is the Nomadic Cole signing off.